Cardinal family, I want to talk to you about something that's been making me lose sleep. So, if you watched my video last week, one of the things I talked about was not one of the things, the main thing I talked about was how do we effectively use technology? That whole notion of it being our servant, not our master. This week, I want to talk about what we do if we don't use technology. Here's the specific scenario that's been making me lose sleep. I will sit up at 3 in the morning sometimes and I will think, what if the network goes down? And I don't mean network like our internet at school. I don't mean network as what's routed through ESU6. I mean like the big N. Like we had a solar flare happen and the network got shut down. And all these technological pieces that we've become reliant upon are no longer readily available. And I know last week in the video I talked about how I would have approached things if I was in my 1997 brand new teacher shoes making packets. And so I reverted back to that. What if the network, the big N, goes down? Well, I guess we'd make packets. And then I thought, my computer's not plugged into the printer, and I don't think most of your computers are plugged into the printer, that it all goes through the big N, the big network in some capacity. And if we don't have that, how do we print and make those packets? So, and that's just one tiny snapshot facet of things that we have started to take for granted if we don't have all this technology. So, here's something that I would like you to think about and maybe give it a test run someday, or maybe not even a day, maybe just on a particular lesson that you're going to teach. And teach it as though we don't have the big N, that the network went down. Say, all right, from start to finish on this concept, I don't have the network. I don't have those tools that I would normally have. How can I do this? Now, I'm kind of stealing this idea. I don't remember which district had done this, but I was on a Zoom recently. That's technology we were using. We wouldn't be able to use it if the big N went down. Anyway, I was on the Zoom, and a district said they had, and I don't think this is what they called it, but I've been calling it a no network drill day, where they just said, all right, today the network is down. It wasn't actually down. It was just a drill, just like when we have a fire drill. There's no fire, but we act like there is one. So they said, today we're going to conduct business as though there's no network. Now we're going to have advance notice of this, which is typical. But frequently when we're going to have a fire drill or a tornado drill, those kind of things are on the schedule. So let's plan for what education looks like that day without all of this cool stuff that we've become reliant upon. So, Cardinal family, I'd encourage you to do that, both in the macro and the micro. So what do I mean by that? Big picture. Be thinking about if something goes haywire and we don't have access to this technology anymore, how would you problem solve that? What could we do? Number two, maybe give it a practice run on a small scale. That's the micro. Saying, all right, for this lesson, for this activity, for this day, however you want to do it, say, I know we have all these wonderful tools of technology that Sam has said we can use to enhance the activities in which our students engage in order to move towards the learning objective, goal, target. Today, I'm not going to use those. I'm going to use more analog measures, more analog interventions, more analog activities to move us towards that learning goal. It might be some good practice and might be novel enough at this point in time that it captures our students' attention, which hold on to that idea of novel because that's going to be my next one of these that we're going to do. But yeah, be thinking about it. Be thinking about what if we don't have access to this technology? How can I pull this off? Maybe even practice it a little bit. I used to work with a learning coach that was fond of saying a good lesson plan is never dependent upon technology, which I disputed. I think that we can expect our technology to work, whether that technology is a mechanical pencil or whether that technology is the big N. It's good to say, hey, I'm going to plan because I believe this is going to work and I'm going to plan on it working. But I think it's good to have a backup plan. And I think sometimes it's good to practice our backup plan because if we're formulating a backup plan, it means that the threat of whatever's going to happen could happen. So keep making technology your servant. At the same time, maybe take a day, maybe take an activity, maybe take a lesson and pull all the tech out. And big picture, think about how you would pull it off if the big N went down and we still needed to make education happen, which, by the way, it's hard to believe. They used to do all this stuff without technology. I'm not sure how I'd be executive director of CIA without this, but I think I'd figure it out too. All right, that's all I have as always. It's coming out on a Friday. Hope you have a rad weekend, Cardinal family, and we'll see you next time.